Boy, I'm jamming on this stuff today too.
Hey, everyone. Angela O'Hare here, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
Yo, I'm Rob Howell, Rockstar Realtor. I'm the realtor and you are the rockstar.
Yes.
Good to see everybody.
Sorry we're a little late, and obviously Ozzy got the tail end of you coming in. Oh, there's a guy.
Yeah.
He wants out. 2 seconds. Let me get out.
So, hey, what's up, everybody? Man, I'm on fire today. I think this is going to be a really good update. I think this is going to be a really good update because I got some great stuff to talk about. Ange has a bunch on the new homes.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about this in our last market update, but it got a little over an hour long, so we weren't able to really, dive into what's going on with the new construction, right?
Yeah, it was a good
update.
I guess,
when we were doing the update, the whole SVB bank crashed.
Yeah, during that, and boy, there's been a lot of I've got a lot to talk about on that. Well,
wow.
Let's just say it's good stuff that I got to talk about on that.
So that's interesting. So we really wanted to go over what's going on with the new construction builder incentives. And sometimes they'll have really good incentives, and depending on the month, but I think some of the incentives were better like last month than it is this month. So we're going to go over by builders. Obviously, these are builders that have a lot of, or had a lot of quick move-in, standing inventory, however you want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're ready to sell some stuff that they had sitting around a little bit.
So basically, my little note says, across the U.S. last month, builder sales incentives and a decline in mortgage rates helped boost buying activity, per the National Association of Home Builders. And last month, which was January, actually, the pace of the U.S. builder sales was up 7% from December, but down 19.4% from a year earlier. And obviously we know why. Yeah. But January sale tally in Southern Nevada climbed 59% from December. So the national average was 7.2, and in the Valley, it was up 59%.
Vegas is different, folks.
Yep.
Vegas is different.
So
get it through your heads.
To hit its highest level since June, monthly sales cancellations tumbled to their lowest amount in nearly a year, and customer foot traffic is on the rise, according to the research company. So what have we been saying?
Well, I mean, I think springtime starts springing, right?
Yeah, and our spring season actually starts in January, I think.
Well,
January, February timeframe.
This year, the numbers did spike because the interest rates got better.
Right.
So they were able to offer a little better incentive, which is on those interest rates. So
yeah, and I think sometimes, there's pros and cons to buying new construction, right? The pros are you get a brand new house, no one's ever lived in it. Sometimes you get to choose your design features, sometimes not. The cons are houses are close together, smaller yards. It may be further away or not in a desirable neighborhood. But in my opinion, it's actually sometimes better to buy new construction right now because of all these incentives that the builders are offering.
I've said it to you before. I've never seen the builders offer so much in incentives. And people are going to say, oh, that's because they're desperate. Listen, I saw them when they were the most desperate I've ever seen, which is, it goes back to when, the 2010, 2011, 2012, and they were not offering these types of incentives.
Yeah.
They were offering incentives, but they were not offering this type of incentive. And here's why. Here's the main reason why. Because they didn't build a lot of standing inventory. They really got to the point where by 2010, 11, 12, they sold off what was standing, and then they would just build on demand.
Right.
And so that's where builders are heading to now. And that's why, as we go through, we have some more information to say that if you were looking for the builders to give you an absolute, just hand it all over to you, well, the months that was happening was what, November, December, January?
Yeah, well, they still are
mostly,
but here's the situation. So last year, the builders built a lot of quick move-ins in anticipation for a robust real estate market for 2022. Okay, they did not know. No one knew about. We had some ideas about the rate hikes, but they didn't know it was going to be as bad as it was. So they have all these quick move-ins, and sometimes because of all the new construction that was going on, it was easier for them to select the options and get the approval through city or whatever that stuff is that they have to get
Yeah, all the permits and
permits and
everything.
stuff.
Yeah.
So now what's happening is that these builders still have hefty quick move-ins, but they're trying to get rid of them. Then it's going to go, once they get rid of them, they're not going to do as much.
Yeah.
They're going to still continue with the traditional build 7 to 10 months out.
Yeah, which is what also some of this is. It's a lag from how long it takes to build, and they did have some fallouts from people and things like that. So people got a little nervous, fallouts happen, and then they got these standing inventory now that they have to.
Because like Toll Brothers
discount.
Takes sometimes a year.
Yeah.
So a lot of this was planned in advance. And that's why Toll Brothers and some of these builders have these quick move-ins, is because they were anticipating a better, beefier market last year. And they wanted to sell faster instead of the people waiting for them to be built.
Yeah. Overall, though, I think they saw a lot of it coming, and they did, pump the brakes where necessary. They've got, they don't have this big hangover like what, there's this guy who came to town and said, oh, it's a ghost town. That's wrong. That's not reality. They do have some available, and they are offering some great deals, but you're not talking about fire sale crazy stuff.
Well, I think too, builders are pulling lesser and lesser permits because they're not
building
crazy.
as much.
However, and I'm going to be doing another video. I just did one. There's tons of new communities still coming to the Las Vegas Valley. And
I think I've got information as to why they might win out on that bet if they are continuing to build. Las Vegas is strong, folks. It's stabilizing, and I got proof. All right, what's your proof? Well, first of all, we talked about it in our market update. Right. We talked about the inventory went down over a month of inventory less. We went from 4.1 in February, and in March we saw it was 2.7. Right. Unreal that it went down over a month of inventory, especially going into a spring season when things usually ramp up. Sellers put their property on the market and they sell, and they're looking to sell. Okay, this is important because we came out of months where there was historically low buyer activity. Right. So you're coming out of historically low buyer activity into these months that are supposed to ramp up for sellers to put their houses on the market, and inventory goes down. Right. Wild. Okay, that tells me stability, and it's because sellers don't need to sell. The desperation that people are talking about on these YouTube these YouTubers is total. I call it BSing and guessing, folks. They are BSing and guessing you to death. And right now that inventory is absolutely telling the tale in my mind. Not only that, but the median home price only dropping by $5. So we talked about that before. Right. I've got a whole bunch more that's going to come out on Monday about what I think is happening. My video is titled "They've Got It Completely Wrong." Right. That's what it is, because I'm telling you, there is another story to this. However, go ahead. Do you think the SVB bank crash and the other bank crash is putting a kibosh? Yes. I'm glad you asked, Ange, because this is actually giving me optimism about what's going to happen with the Fed, and I'm going to talk about it coming up. I think that's a lot of people believe there's going to be a 0.25% increase next week when we have the Fed meeting of the federal interest rate. Okay. Right. That's kind of already baked into the cake on mortgages. That's what they're expecting that to happen. But listen, these banks collapsing is now giving a sign that the Fed has basically caused these, also their bad investments and so on and so forth. They didn't do a good job with their businesses. They made bad mistakes that has caused this. But look, I'm not the person to tell you all those things. I just know that the Fed is looking at that and saying, oh, crap. Okay, we might not be able to keep pushing on our interest rates going up, because this is a signal now that we're now starting to have other problems. So this could reveal returns on what the Fed pivoting quicker than we thought. Right. This would make the real estate market stronger as far as activity is concerned. Now, I know what people are thinking. They're going, well, if banks are collapsing, this is just like 2008. Folks, that's where you have it dead wrong. Okay, this is not. The housing market is not built on a house of cards. It's just not built on a house of cards like 2008. People have equity, and I've got the proof in all my videos. Basically, 94% of homeowners right now have equity. 94%. Right. And
because of the crash, there were stricter lending practices. And for the last 3
Bingo.
years, people have more, as we talk about this in our market updates, they have more skin in the game.
Bingo.
Either 30% of the buyers in the last few years were paying cash, or they put good chunks down. So they have financed it super incredibly, the lowest interest rates ever. So why would they want to sell and get a different house? So that's why we are seeing very little inventory in the market. So where the inventory is the new construction. And that's why I think it's better, sorry, sellers, sometimes to buy a new construction home over a resale home because of all the incentives you can get. You can get a $450,000 old house that needs a lot of work versus a $450,000 new house that's brand new.
Yeah. There's always a little bit of push and pull on that, but I don't think you're wrong, Ange. Actually, especially because, and this is something I'm going to talk about in my video as well. I don't want to give everything away, but look, there is hidden inventory loss in the inventory that you see. And what is that? That's these overpriced sellers and this junk. You just spoke about it, a house that you got to go and buy and put work into it, but yet it's not even, they're asking too much. You're starting to see some appraisal issues on some of these things. So yes, you are correct in that if the inventory is over in the new homes and they're offering a lot of incentives, listen, this may be that the last of the Mohicans on this. This may be where, especially if the Fed pivots, that you're going to start seeing a run on real estate again. Wild. But folks, just because the banks are dropping doesn't mean that the real estate is. I know that's hard to figure out, but it doesn't mean. A number of things would have to happen to destabilize the housing market. And right now I don't see it. So there you go.
Another thing too is back in 2020, I had a lot of buyers saying, I'm going to wait this out because after COVID, the prices were starting to rise. And like, you know what? I'm going to wait till next year because we kind of thought maybe the 2021. And guess what? They wish they would have bought in 2020.
Absolutely.
So, don't believe those people that tell you not to buy now. More things are going to come. Maybe the interest rates may go down. But then that means if the interest rates go down, what goes up?
Competition, baby.
Competition and prices.
Well, yeah. So the competition means higher prices. I don't know if it all happens at once, but what I'm seeing is that, you have, especially for cash buyers, my God, if I'm sitting on cash thinking about buying a property, you're on the clock.
Yeah.
You're on the clock, folks. And I've been waiting I've been talking about this in my videos for months now, like saying, okay, when is this going to happen? And I've been like, cash buyers, get ready. It's going to happen sometime. Well, now if I'm starting to see that we may be actually at a stabilization point for Las Vegas, and that would mean a bottom.
Right.
You got to hear what I have to say more on my video on Monday. I'm telling you. Sorry to advertise it so much.
No, I'm fine. But let's get into all these wonderful incentives that these builders are offering. Our first builder is Taylor Morrison, and they say basically enjoy lower payments for the first 3 years with limited finance savings on select homes, which are your quick move-in homes, when you use Taylor Morrison's in-house lender. So basically for the first year, you know what the interest rate is? 2.75%. The second year, 3.75%. The third year, 4.75%, and from years 4 through 30, 5.75%. That's even lower than what the interest rate is now.
It is, and that's hard to lose on right there. If you like the home, if the payment's affordable, they're making it easy for you. I mean, you're going to end up with a lower rate than we are now, and there's obviously opportunity potentially to refinance. Can't guarantee that, but you should be looking for it.
And another thing too is builders are taking offers. They're not just sticking to the price. So let's say it's listed at $499.90, right? Yeah. Make an offer, and you need a skilled a skilled agent that knows how to negotiate with the builders to get you the right offer.
This isn't going to last long, folks. I'm telling you now. What she's talking about, it's going to change.
And so Taylor Morrison has 14 communities throughout the valley with 28 quick move-in homes. That may seem like a lot. However, it's nothing. I mean, 2.75 for 1 year, even at 5.75 in 5 years, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's certainly historically lower than what rates have been and are now. And by the way, they may even, depending on what happens, you may be able to go to them if the rates even take a little bit more of a tumble, because right now the bond market, because of those banks,
Right.
the bond market's going up, rates are going down again. And so they're pricing some other things in. I'm telling you, keep an eye on this. You really might be able to get a great rate and buy a new home right now with a lot of incentives that aren't going to be there. They're going to disappear. If all of the things that I think are happening start to go the way I think they are, it's going to disappear.
Right. You're better off buying a quick move in than building it from ground up, because when you build it from ground up, you're selecting your upgrades and this and that and that. They're not going to give you a good incentive. They may give you something like pay for all your closing costs. On top of this, not only are they giving you great interest rates, they're also covering your closing costs.
Yeah.
So all the money that you have to come up with is just your down payment. But when you build from ground up, they may give you 3% towards closing costs, and that's it. So buying new construction, you pretty much can get it at base price with all the upgrades for free.
Yeah, and you lock in the rate now.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about whether or not what the Fed decides to do in the future.
Right.
So that's also another thing.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why some fallouts happened, right? Because people got involved. They were like, oh, these rates are decent. This price is decent. And by the time they were about to buy it, they were like, oh, wait, this changed on me.
Especially with builders like Toll Brothers that take over a friggin' year.
Exactly. So you can understand why people decided, it's got a little bit more than I could bid off, more than I could chew now.
Right.
But this is not what's happening with these now.
Now, so Toll Brothers is offering get 4.99% first year rate on a 30-year fixed rate of a 1-0 buy down for a limited time on select move-in ready homes when you use their in-house lender. So for the first year, your interest rate is 4.99, and from years 2 through 30, it's 5.99. Still not bad, relatively lower than what the average is right now.
Yeah, I just looked, and depending on the situation, I think NerdWallet has anywhere from like 6.1 all the way up to 7, depending on
your
the lender that you go with.
Lender and your FICO score.
Certainly your
debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
So Toll Brothers has 44 available quick move-in homes across the valley. Now, I think Toll Brothers were really spearheaded these quick move-ins. And so because their build time is so long that they probably were building these last year, and now they're finally ready. So that's probably why they have a larger inventory than the rest, because of that reason.
Yeah. So 44 homes, still not a ton. It's a lot compared to what was happening last year, because there were 0 available like that. I mean, really, there was none. I mean,
right, because they were building them.
Yeah. So that's what people are having a struggle with. They're trying to figure out, like, well, why it was nothing before, and now there's 44. There's some. It's like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh, the market is crashing because there's so much inventory.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, folks.
Just wait. The builders are gonna,
they're going to switch gears if they can. Guarantee it.
Yeah, they will. Especially once those interest rates start lowering. They're not going to be offering all these great incentives.
No, they just need to get. Look, once it gets hot in Vegas, the market gets hot. So if these changes all happen coinciding with our usual movement times as far as people buying properties, it's going to be, we're going to certainly get back to some traditional numbers.
Yeah,
that's what I believe will happen.
I mean, sure, we don't go over what the Redfin market update says for across the country. We know because we read the numbers every month, and the numbers, as I say, do not lie. They are telling us a story, right?
Vegas is very different than a lot of other places. So one thing I call out a guy that's doing YouTube videos out there, huge guy. I mean, as far as if you watch YouTube videos for real estate, but the guy is so dead wrong about Vegas.
I know who he is. He lives in Vegas too. What's his name?
It's actually Reventure. I don't think it's the one you're thinking of.
There's this one guy that was in California and moved to Vegas, and he does a lot of Vegas videos.
Oh, okay. This guy calls out the 10 cities that he thinks are going to drop.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very recent video he just dropped. It just so happened to coincide with my "You're Completely Wrong" video because in it, he talks about information from January from Las Vegas. Doesn't he says inventory has gone up all this month. You're conveniently leaving out the last 2 months, which are the marker down for what you have to.
Right.
Listen, I'm giving away all my stuff.
4,500 single family homes across the valley is not a lot of inventory.
Not at all. Not at all, folks.
I mean, this is single family, not including condos or townhomes, but condos and townhomes was only like 1,100.
Yeah.
So 45 plus 1,100 is what, 5,600 homes?
Yeah, and Vegas continues to be the place to be. I mean, people want to be here.
If the market was so bad, I don't think these new home communities would be opening up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, some of this, there's inertia involved in, once they buy the land, they just kind of have to start getting their wheels turning on it and keeping things going. But I think they did so damn well over the last couple of years. The coffers are full. They can start building. Now, they do have the investors, the people shareholders, they have to worry about pleasing every month and stuff like that. But I don't know the total rationale for why a builder does what they do, but I do know for sure on the permits to get more builds done, they have totally laid back, and they may be getting getting subdivisions ready. Right. In other words, making the lots, but that doesn't mean they'll do the permits to build on them right away. Right. And maybe they'll put up some model homes and then start building on demand in those areas. So they're not getting way out ahead of themselves. Right. Certainly not what you see when you see jerk offs out there BSing and guessing about what's happening in the new home.
I like that, BSing and guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read our last market update. There's a heavy comments on there.
Is there sweet? I haven't. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, I need to get in there and mix
you need to get in it on there because there's some.
They disagree with us, huh? Yep. All right. Disagree with us. I don't care.
All right. So now Polti is offering a special financing on a 30-year fixed rate at 4.99% for quick move-in homes when you use their in-house lender. This offer is only available on certain inventory homes, and you have to go under contract from March 1st and close by April 28th. And you must put 20% down, have a FICO score of 780 or higher, and your debt to income ratio needs to be 40% or less, and it has to be your primary address.
I like that they detail that out so much.
Well, a lot of them do. You just got to read the fine print. It's not detailed. It's in all the way at the bottom in the fine print.
Good. I like that they fine print that.
Yeah, but you need to know that, yes, you have to have great credit in order to qualify for all these incentives. Most of them I've seen was 440. They're a little high in the 740, but 780 is kind of high. Yeah. If you ask me. But, Polti at one point in time, and I got a couple of deals, they were offering realtors 4%.
Yeah. Yeah. They haven't, they're not pushing those as hard, if you notice. Yeah. But that's also, the story in the story as well, is that new homes, you do have to generally have higher qualifications to purchase them. Certainly certain builders in certain areas. Now, there are certain areas in town that I think are sort of made us for more affordable and would be FHA qualifying and things like that. Right. And they do offer incentives. And so we're not showing you everything here. There is opportunity. It's just maybe some of them aren't yours and some of them are. Right. Right.
And Polti's homes tend to be a little more expensive. That's probably why they're saying conventional 20% down.
Yeah, agreed.
With Polti, there's about 54 quick move-in homes available across the entire valley. Polti is a huge builder here. So you got even the Del Webb communities like Las Vegas and North Ranch.
This is all over the valley. I mean, this is all over the valley. So what are we looking at? We got 14 or 28 up there, 44, 54. Is that what we have?
So far.
We don't know all the builders' inventory, but they have. But
some of them didn't post it, but 24, 28, and 54. That's 126.
Let's go out on a limb and say there's 500 new homes.
That's a lot.
I'm gonna go with the lot, but add 500 to our 4,500 or whatever we have. Right.
That's 5,000 homes, single family homes.
It's not that much. Yeah. It's not that much. My goodness. Yep. So anybody telling you different is just, BSing and guessing.
Yeah. I love that saying. That's a great one. All right. So next is Richmond American. And for homes that close by April 28th, you enjoy a 5.35% interest rate for FHA and VA. But if you're conventional, it's 5.875, and homes must close by May 31st.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess so. Yeah, I got to close them pretty quick then.
Yep. And then
although you got a little time.
I'm sorry, these homes need to close by April 28th.
April. And then the next set.
Next set says for May 31st, then it's at 5.875 for VA and FHA. And I think
it's
that's
the
wrong.
same.
I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong for conventional. I think that was I didn't write the right number. It's like 6 something.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, here's what's interesting about that. They're really trying to incentivize those April closings, right?
Yes.
You know,
right.
So look at it that way. You know, you can get in and get a much better rate. I mean, those extra points, that's 5 extra points.
Yeah.
That's 0.5%.
And, you know, obviously quick move-ins doesn't sometimes literally mean quick move-in. Sometimes they may be a couple months out.
Well, if they want you to close by the 28th,
I know. I'm just saying in general, some of these builders like Lennar or whatever, they just are like Toll Brothers and stuff like that.
They're almost done.
They're almost done.
Yeah.
Some of them will say move-in ready. Then obviously we know that's move-in ready, but that's what that means.
You might even be able to negotiate some of that stuff too if you can. So that's the great news. I don't think that's going to last, folks. Telling you.
Yeah, because the next builder, which is TriPoint Homes, we're going to go over what their current incentives are and what their current incentive or their incentives were last month. So TriPoint is still having their new home event, which is a 7 to 6 arm with a starting interest rate of 4.75% for 7 years. It's a 7-year arm, and your first year of financing is 2.99. Second year, 3.99, third year, 4.99, and from years 4 through 30 at 5.99. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. And I want to point this out too, because there are, I think it was Reventure again that went out there and pointed out a sign that was in front of a new home and said, oh, they're offering this financing, but then you're going to get jacked up on the adjustable rate. But the rate adjusts to lower than it is now.
Okay, I lied. All right, so.
Sorry.
Oh, no, real quick.
No,
so the 7 to 6 arm is at 4.75% at 7 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, yes. I was going to bring that up.
That was the last month. So meaning last month, those interest rates, 2.99, 3.99, 4.95, that was last month's deal.
So you jumped ahead and talked about what they were doing last month.
Yes, I misspoke. So basically last month's deal was better than this month's deal at 4.75 for 7 years.
Yeah, so they're locking you in at a decent rate for 7 years. What does it adjust to after the 7 years?
It doesn't say.
So that may be the catch on that one.
Yes.
Is that it might adjust to a 6.5 or something.
Or whatever the interest rate is.
Whatever the rate is going now.
So to receive the incentive, you must enter into a purchase contract on an eligible home site by March 31st and close by May 9th. And you must put 20% down with a FICO score of 740 or higher. So again, these incentives aren't going to last. As you can see from month to month, they're changing as they dwindle down on their inventory.
And as they look at the residential resale inventory.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
And then they have 54 quick move-in homes, which is kind of interesting because TriPoint really didn't do quick move-ins for a long time. So it's interesting that I think they kind of stepped into the game or something.
Well, they clearly, they probably had the fallouts, and then suddenly they realized they do have some. And so now we're going to push some additional incentives. We got some comments too. We'll have to.
Yeah, let's just finish this and we'll go over the comments. If you have any comments or, please put it down. Sorry, I can't talk today.
Yeah.
My stairs got finished today, finally. So I've been under construction in my house, and next week is doors, and the week after that's floors. So I've been like renovating my house.
Sounds like a really awesome lineup for music.
Yeah,
floors and the doors all in one night.
So next is KB Homes, and they're providing a special low interest rate. They've been doing this same program for a couple of months now, where when you use their in-house lender, you lock it in at 4.99% for up to 270 days, meaning that if you buy a home today and it closes within a year, you lock in that low
Roughly,
interest rate.
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They're allowing you to build on that interest rate.
Yeah. And then Century Communities is you lock in a credible 30-year fixed interest rate loan. FHA and VA, it's at 5.5, and for 30-year conventional, it's 6.125, which to me is okay savings, but 6.1 is not as good as I.
Yeah, that's about what you're seeing right now on the best side of the rates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're probably, if you go to them and talk to them, they may be able to offer something better than that, because that may have been based on right now rates are very volatile, and maybe on the they're on the positive side of volatility.
Right.
So that's good. We'll see what happens next week, but I think a lot of the pricing in of this, if they do 0.25 increase, it's already been priced in. I think that's already happening. So we might not see a big, as a matter of fact, depending on what they say at that Fed meeting, there might be even more pricing in of like, oh, Fed is changing. I'm telling you, folks, listen to what happens next. Oh boy, I can't wait.
And I think the last builder is Lennar.
Yeah.
And take advantage of special limited time fixed rate at 4.99% on a beautiful quick move-in new home you'll love in the greater Las Vegas area. Offer available when qualified buyers sign a purchase contract on select move-in ready homes between March 8th through March 31st and close by April 30th. So do you see a trend?
Yeah, they want to get them sold.
They want them under contract and they want them closed for April.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know in the comments, or
that's the first quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Up for them, basically.
Call or text us. Let us know if you want to get more information on all these quick move-in homes, where they're located. I get emails from all these builders on a daily basis, letting me know what's going on. I tried to see if I could learn how to screen share so we can check and show like the deals that are going on. But unfortunately, I'm not that tech savvy with the StreamYard, so I couldn't figure out how to share the screen.
Yeah.
So that would have been
you
cool.
Were doing that before, weren't you?
No, I could download like our market report, but I wanted to like be able to go on the website on a website and share that way.
Yeah, there is a way.
I just don't know. I mean, maybe not with this streaming provider, StreamYard.
There must be. We'll have to look into it, because I know that I watch some people that do some live stuff, and they're always bringing up,
right,
showing everybody.
All right, so we got a question you want to read?
Okay. Well, is this a question? No, this is just a statement. I got lucky and I was blessed with $60K in incentives and $20K in closing costs. We're in escrow right now to be closing on or before the 31st of this month. We bought in the Cadence community.
Awesome. That's
awesome.
See? Testimonial.
Yeah.
She got $60K in incentives and $20K in closing costs. Yeah. That is phenomenal.
It is great. And, again, depending on how you want to look at that, I think you need to start looking at this as a time that is not going to exist. But some people might look at that as, oh, they're getting desperate and giving you everything. I don't think so. So great job there. Cadence, nice community.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, 20% down. Okay, so Michael, 20% down. A lot of people don't have the 20% down, right? It's a lot to come up with, but a lot of people do. I just sold a property, got it in escrow in a few days, multiple offers. Every offer was a 20% down deal, and that property was around the $520,000 price range. So that's $100K plus that they got to put down. So they're doing it. People have it. It's maybe not in the greatest of numbers, of course, to have all that money, but it is also one way to not have to worry about. I mean, look, this one, the appraisal got waived, no appraisal. So
yeah.
Save yourself the money. You want to read the next one?
Yeah. What are the incentives if you pay cash for the home, and by who? Well, every builder is going to have different incentives depending on the builder, but obviously cash is king. So they're going to be offering you wonderful incentives. Not only will they probably pay for all of your closing costs, because believe it or not, when you pay cash, there are some closing costs. There are more closing costs when you buy new construction for a buyer than there are when you buy resale. And plus also be able to negotiate a deal. Again, the caveat is to use a real estate agent to help you negotiate a deal.
This is where it happens.
And another caveat, or another thing I want to mention, and I say this in all my new construction videos, is when you go look at these new construction communities and you don't bring your agent and you register with them, unfortunately, and then you decide you want to have an agent.
That's it.
That's it. We won't.
Once you register,
yeah.
you can't bring us in the deal.
Yeah. So, you know, and we're free of charge. Why have this builder's agent represent the builder or the seller and do both sides of the story, both sides of the deal, when you can have another agent represent you and make sure you get the best deal possible?
You need to check all your options, and that's what we help you do. We need to, you know, we're going to turn over all the stones on what can be available for it. If there is negotiating available, I suppose you could go in there and try to do that yourself, but I think people would recognize when they go out and buy a car, how that can be difficult to, you know, you really got to be coming in with, and there are no real sales agents for cars. There's a reason for that.
Right.
First of all, there's nobody's offering commissions to them, so nobody can, you know, but as far as the, you know, going in and just using the builder, they might not tell you a lot of things.
Yeah.
So uncover those stones. And, you know, have somebody on your side throughout the transaction, not just, you know, while the builder needs to deal with you for the whole transaction. And don't forget, you're creating a relationship for life with somebody like you know, that's, you never know. You might have to sell in the future, and we got to have that relationship. I think it's important.
Exactly. So another question is, are builders accepting offers on quick move-ins with contingent on selling your existing home? So there's a yes and no answer to it. The yes answer is if your home is currently under contract and about to close, but if your home is just listed and no offers have been made and is not under contract, then that would be a no.
Very, very likely, which also that's another measurement for how desperate they are. If they were so desperate, they would just take anything. Yeah, sure. Right. Sell your house and we'll give you this house.
Right.
No, they want to make sure that you already have it sold, basically, that you virtually have it sold. That's, you know. Yeah,
and I had a client that I just sold a house in Del Webb North Ranch, which was the same way. They were selling their home in the Pacific Northwest, and they had it under contract, and they were going to use the cash funds from that sale to purchase their house in Del Webb North Ranch, and we got them a super duper deal.
That's great.
So yeah, and plus he was paying cash. So prime example, he was paying cash and he got a phenomenal deal.
Wonderful. Need to sell existing home in Chicago and get 20% down. Hey, contact us if you need. I'm sure if you don't have an agent already out there, you're like, we actually do have contacts in different areas of the country, and we know what to research and what to ask these people, even if we don't know them, to make sure they're decent agents.
Well, the thing is that we build relationships with the seller's agents or the builder's agents. So a lot of them I know by name, and they love working with us because, you know, I'm not the type of agent, because there's a lot of agents that sell new construction and they take you to the start line, but they don't finish you with the finish line. Does that make sense? Yeah. They're okay, good. Here, you're in their hands. Yeah. I am there every step of the way.
Yeah. If you want somebody there that's going to, you know, come to, even if there's what these inspections you're going to do, even design center stuff, which not everybody wants their agent involved in that. But if you want, you know, if you got a good relationship with us and you trust what we say and you want to know what like is going to have good resale value, and hey, you know, that's all free to you.
Yeah.
All of that. So yeah, have an agent that goes with you every step of the way.
Right. So if you're thinking about buying new construction or buying in the Las Vegas Valley, I highly recommend buying now. And you know, we get flack, Rob and I get flack for telling you to buy now. And people say that we're greedy agents and we want the money in the sales and blah, 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 blah. No, we're just logical.
Yeah.
We see the numbers and the trends in the Las Vegas Valley. And from experience, we know that these builders are not going to be offering these incentives forever.
Yeah. Especially when you're talking about the builders. That's for sure what I believe strongly. In my career, since 2009, since 2009, when I can tell you for sure the market was way worse.
Yes.
They were not doing what they're doing now. Okay. So this is going to disappear as things get better. And right now I'm seeing stabilization in Las Vegas. And that will mean that those deals, you being able to go in and be a buyer and just select whatever you want, not have as much competition, that's all going to go out the window, especially if things start to reverse. I'm telling you now, folks, whoever you're listening to is doing what I call pure speculation or BSing and guessing. Now, it's not that they couldn't be right. Not that things can't happen. That's ludicrous to say.
Right.
Okay. But we have to look at what is happening in the moment as it's happening and then decide, well, does this mean that you're unsafe in the future? I don't believe so right now. And that's even with me I don't like overall, decisions being made maybe by our leadership and things like that,
right.
That might affect, economic situations. That's even with all that information that I'm a little distrustful over.
Right.
I still feel Vegas stands tall.
Yep.
That's the way I feel.
And for those of, prime example, again, I keep on coming back to that. My clients were wanting to sit on the sideline and wait for the prices to go down. If you're sitting on the sideline thinking and believing what these people say, that the market's crashing, the prices are going to go down further, I just don't see it personally.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so that's funny because the last time I had this feeling, when I've come in and I'm just like, got a whole bunch of gas behind me. Like, I'm just like, yeah. The last times that I felt this way, where I saw really big, almost magical changes, were coming out of that 2020 time, where suddenly I was realizing, oh my goodness, there's a windfall of things happening.
Yes.
And what I was unable to see and really be a part of was the more negative effects. Because I'm a positive person, but I knew things were changing. I knew we would go down because of interest rates. And then it was just a matter of when things would change. And now I'm starting to see that change happen.
And as you said throughout, is the only reason why we're going through this was not because of financial instability or incorrect bad loans and stuff like that. It's just because the Feds raised the interest rates. If they didn't raise the interest rates, we would be continuing to go in this upward movement.
High prices, let's be honest. Yes. They were historically high. Last year, they got absolutely zoomed up. The Fed should have raised rates sooner. They zoomed up in early last year. And then those absolutely unprecedented rate movements. They never moved rates that quickly,
right?
Ever that fast and that quickly or that much.
And we are happy that it did happen because we always said this in every of our market update videos. We want a stable market.
Absolutely.
We don't like these
healthy.
We want a healthy, stable market.
Healthy folks.
We don't like these huge price increases, so it's unaffordable to everyone. We want people.
That's why I keep reverting back to where the Fed should have started making their changes, because we wouldn't have had that big blow up, and maybe not as much in 2022 as far as how it bubbled up.
Right.
It did bubble, folks, and then it corrected. And one reason why it corrected was the interest rates. Now the Fed has taken back some trillions of dollars, maybe about $1 trillion or so. I don't know. Whatever they've taken back, they've just wiped out in housing market costs. They have in value and in equity and whatnot. And now that you're starting to see some other things, they're going to have to make changes. And I believe that change is coming. And I believe that it's actually good for real estate, especially as we see that overall, employment, jobs, things like that are not getting hammered. Okay. People are not getting laid off like crazy. Let's hope that continues. If that continues, I can assure you of what's happening next in our market. I just can. It's that simple. It's 1 and 1 equals 2. Now, the thing is that people are employed and their money they're making is not equaling inflation. Okay. So that's been the trouble. But as we start to see that trickle, as we see them take the foot off the gas, and I'm just telling you, real estate, especially in Vegas, is set to do better than people are telling you, and I believe that's going to happen.
Right. So we have another question.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch here.
So Mr. Vacation, these glasses are perfect. I think they make me look super hot. No. He says large glasses. He always comments on my glasses. I like my glasses. Anyway, so when making an offer on a new built home, not quick move in, can you include a clause in the purchase agreement stating that if the base price goes down during the build, the builder adjusts the price?
So if they're suddenly offering lower prices, yeah, you can go back to them and be like, "What's up?"
Yeah, there is a clause, I think, depending on the builder, but from what I remember selling a Richmond American home, there was a clause about it, but it has to still be under contract before, and obviously if it closes after the fact, then there's nothing you can do about it. But I think if the home is still under contract, you can renegotiate the price.
Yeah, if it's significant, it's either that or you have to back out of the deal, and that's what happened in the last several months.
Because some of those builders were sticklers. But now, when you cancel, your earnest money, unfortunately, does not come back to you unless you buy another with that same builder another home that's gone down.
Yeah. Generally speaking, the builders are not in the business of keeping earnest money. I can tell you right now, with all the dropouts and fallouts and things right now that are happening, do your own little Google search on this, but there would be a ton of people complaining out there if it was a serious issue.
I don't know. I had two buyers tried to back out. One was a Polti, and they let him buy another home and use that earnest money towards the other home, but they would not give him his money back. And then I have Toll Brothers, and Toll Brothers flat out said no.
They just flat
You're going to lose your earnest money.
Toll Brothers is a different animal. I'm just going to tell you, they will work with you if you push hard enough on them. They have to. But here's the thing: I don't think you're going to have to worry about that going ahead. That's the important thing that I think is, and whether you do, you can worry about it and just maybe talk to them about that before you go into contract. And that's part of what you want to make sure you're doing, is making sure that you're seeing ahead. That if things do, if I'm wrong and everything gets a lot worse, then you are covered.
Right.
So that's how I'd look at that.
You want to read the next one?
Which one are we at?
Mr. Bear, go ahead and buy, sucker.
Go ahead and buy, sucker. Yeah, I mean, listen, Mr. Bear, there's a lot of people like you that are just absolutely convinced, and you've been convinced by for a number of different reasons that it is just a sucker's time to buy. Again, Ange brings up 2020. I mean, even I would have been questioning whether or not it was a great time to buy early, right when the pandemic happened in 2020. Turns out it was a fantastic time to buy. Unbelievable. And that only lasted a short period of time. Now, I'm not saying this is the same. It's not the same.
Right.
But I also think that when you're talking about, look, there's a lot of people that don't rent. They're only going to buy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are moving from other states. They're trying to get these moves done and everything like that. A lot of people looking at Vegas as their place to go. And if you can get yourself into a comfortable mortgage with a house you love, I just don't think you should be sitting around worrying about what the speculators are saying about the future, because listen, you could do that at any time. You could freak out at any time. I've heard it my entire career that it's about to happen.
It's going to crash.
Anytime.
So remember, and I say this too often, is that before COVID hit in 2020, they said 2020 Vegas was going to crash.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
Did it crash in 2020?
No, it was it was wild. It was the opposite. And now look, again, things can happen, but let's base it on real information, real numbers, and real live what's happening. You're going to say what you want to say. You want to say the banks? I have a reason why it's separate, why it's not equaling 1 and 1 equals 2 on that. And, you're going to say, okay, well, 2008, that's exactly what happened. 2008, the housing crash was from housing.
Yes.
It was literally
the lenders.
Sure, it started out with the banks, but once that house of cards dipped, it was all getting wiped out because it was all BS. It was nothing. There was nothing stable there. People didn't have any. You watch. If something happens, people are going to hold on to their homes like freaking bucking ponies out there.
Right now they have such great interest rates.
Yeah, they're going to hold on, and they've put a ton of cash in them.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? A lot of these people have redone their homes. I know one of them right now that's doing that. I did that. A lot of people, they love their homes. They've redone them. They've got great interest rates. They've got equity. They're going to hold on to these things like a freaking like they're in the rodeo.
My interest rate's 2.99%.
This isn't like 2008 where you got the house for free. You might even got some cash on the side and went to Hawaii with that money. They were supposed to use it on the house. It's not like the arms that were happening where these sudden adjustable rates, even the adjustables that they're offering now aren't nearly what they were doing then.
Right.
Rates were higher too.
Well, they were giving loans to anybody and everybody that really didn't qualify.
I can go down the list over and over and over again. So what I need to do is see something that makes sense. If you can tell me something, a reason, a shoe that's going to drop, some reason that says, hey, this is what's going to take out the legs from the market, then we can talk. But unless you got that, you're just speculating.
Right.
So go ahead and buy, sucker. Yeah. Hey, how about you just keep renting? I think that's a sucker's move.
Yeah.
That's a sucker's move to me.
All that. Okay. So average rent. What do you say the average rent is? $3,000, right? In Vegas, 2,500?
Maybe 24 or something.
So say 2,500 times 12 months equals $30,000. That could have been a down payment for something that you gave to the your landlord.
Yeah, and rent is obviously all interest paid. Okay, you're paying all interest. So look at what you pay in your interest and then compare it to what you'd have to pay in rent. You may pay more on your monthly mortgage in some cases than you could rent a property for. If it's a little bit more, I wouldn't worry about that too much because you're not throwing the money away. It's, let's just say for really, really easy round numbers, you pay $1,000 in rent right now. Okay, it's $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 gone. All you're doing is renting the place, can't do anything with it. The landlord could tell you to go as soon as that thing is up. They may not take care of it for you. All these problems, right? Yeah. And then if you own the property, well, yes, the problems are yours and you do have to take care of the property, but the money that you're throwing away is only the interest. And I'm going to tell you that's going to be like $400 and something of maybe $450. It's going to be a lot less. Oh, maybe it's 450 to the principal and 600 to the interest, something like that. But it's going to be a lot less than the $1,000 that you're throwing away every month on. And that's now when rates are considered high. So if rates get better, ba-boom, baby, now you got better prices, better rates.
Well, what if rates go down? It's those people are going to come back into the market. They're going to buy houses. So then you're going to have bidding wars again. And so what does that mean? The prices are going to start going back up again.
Yep. There is pent up demand for sure.
There's pent up demand. People are still holding off.
For Vegas, especially, and that's why we'll go to this next. Hi, guys. What do you think about interest rates for 2023? Now, end of year, it has a direct impact. We're talking about it right now. Yes, absolutely has a direct impact. And what I'm talking about rates is not necessarily speculation. We're going to find out more next week and see how the Fed talks about it. But the evidence that's out there is pointing towards the Fed having to pivot. And if they pivot, they may pivot much harder than people think they will. They may really, by June, you could see a real change. Now, watch my video on Monday for what I actually think those numbers will be.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up. Mr. Vacation says, well, this guy has been a realtor since 2009. Mm-hmm. He's not a realtor in training.
What happened? Who's saying
I'm in training? Because I've been doing videos with Damien, and so maybe he's getting you confused with Damien. Gotcha. I don't know. So he's telling you that you talk a lot.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
No, anyway, it's true. I'm sorry. I'm here to talk.
He's passionate. We're passionate about our industry, and we're not the type of people that's going to. I mean, I honestly think that I'm an honest person, right? Read my reviews. My clients love me because, I'll tell them I don't sell to sell. I'll tell them if it's a good investment or not.
Yeah. And it has to make sense to you folks. Yeah. All of the bluster in the world that I'm throwing out there right now, just because, again, yes, I'm passionate. There is only one thing that matters. Right. And that's how it matters to you. Okay. So if this does scare you, if this is not a good time, if you're going to be, kicking tires and never really driving the car off the lot, then don't waste anybody's time. It's okay. It's okay.
So Pierre, I have included in the description below a link to Rob's information, but your channel is
Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor.
And,
thank you guys.
He said, Rob, where is your video about interest rates posted on Monday? It'll be coming on Monday.
I did a Robnostication this Monday, which I did prognosticate on the interest rate being 0.25%. That was even before this information came in. Mm-hmm. So, because there was talk that they would move it up 0.5%. Right. There was serious talk about that. That has been wiped out. It's almost for sure going to be 0.25. If not, maybe different. Listen to my
We'll
video.
see. Yep. So what's your channel? Okay. So we
Yeah,
went over
thank
his
you.
channel. So if you want to learn more about it, in the description below, I've posted information about my stuff and Rob's stuff.
We don't sell the steak, we sell the sizzle. All right. Yeah, thanks, Ange. We got more comments here. Angela, add his channel description.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do that.
Oh,
I just probably have your social and your phone number and email and other. Thank you, Pierre. I will add that for future.
thanks, Ange. I appreciate it.
Yep. Anyway, folks, it's time. It's been an hour.
Wow.
Or almost an hour, 54 minutes.
We just whipped through that, didn't we? Sorry, folks, if I talk too much. I'm sorry, Ange.
No, that's okay. We're just very passionate what we sell, and we would like to give you our honest and humble opinions.
Yeah.
And we're not car salesmen or anything. We are more.
Hey, make up your mind.
We're
Take
more,
it with a grain of
we're
salt.
more realistic, right?
Yeah.
We use a logical approach to this, and we don't predict future. And
Listen, it's all in the details, dynamics, and nuance, folks. If you're just getting a straight don't buy, that's not detailed, that's not dynamic, that's not nuanced.
Well, they produce charts and stuff globally what's happening across the nation, but that doesn't say what's happening in the Las Vegas area.
And it still has,
it's just generalizations.
Yeah, and not only that, but there's only been one reason for it, no matter where it's happening. No matter where it's happening. It's just the interest rates. They went up like crazy. And now what the rest of the speculation is that all these other things were going to happen.
Right.
Folks, it hasn't happened.
Well, we're not doomsdayers or end of the world people where what's going on. So one of the comments on our channel, and we'll end it, was, and you guys can read it from our market update, was, don't you see what's going on around you? Interest rates and people losing jobs and blah, blah, blah. The job market's never been stronger. That's why the feds are raising up the rates higher, because they don't like this.
They're not happy about that.
They're not happy about it. So we know what's going on around us. I mean, we had the pandemic, and what happened? People were buying like crazy.
Listen, it's not perfect, but what we're trying to get back to is healthy. And when we start seeing stabilization, hey, I'm rooting for that. I don't know about you. I do know about a lot of people, but maybe not the people watching us.
Right.
A lot of people are rooting for the worst.
Yeah.
They're rooting for the worst. Okay, you have your reasons.
Yeah. We're a glass is half full kind of people, and not a glass is half empty.
Well, it certainly helps to be positive about things, but I got to tell you, Ange, as I said, I've been negative in the past. I've fallen into this trap of listening to this and letting it emotionally bias me. But now I'm starting to look more tightly at things and feel that positive view come on. And it's not just a feeling. It's there.
Right. All right. So do you always get more for your money in Henderson versus Summerlin? What are the drawbacks about Henderson?
Boy, we could go on about
that. Could be another hour's video.
Summerlin is awesome.
All right. So, okay. Let me put it to you this way. Henderson is a city in Nevada, where Summerlin is a master plan community in Las Vegas. You honestly can't compare the two because of Summerlin is a master plan community and Henderson's a city. Now you have other areas in Summerlin like Seven Hills, McDonald Ranch, etc., that could be comparable to Summerlin. Right. But if you can't generalize or really compare the two, because you would want to compare Henderson versus Las Vegas.
Yeah, Summerlin is such a massive. When you speak of Summerlin, it's the largest by a lot. I think is it the largest master plan community in the U.S.
It is.
Yeah, so it's hard to direct compare there, but there are things that people like about Henderson, and there are things that people like about Summerlin. I'm a Summerlin guy.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't want to sell you a house in Henderson.
Summerlin homes tend to be a little more expensive. Mm-hmm. However, if you look at those other areas of Henderson, like Seven Hills, Anthem Country Club, they got homes comparable to Summerlin.
Yep. Absolutely.
Especially Summerlin's new construction is really expensive. But anyway, I hope that kind of summarized his question.
Feel it out. Come out, feel it out. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Feel it out.
What's your new saying now?
Okay. No BSing and guessing, folks.
Yeah. I like that. All right, folks. We really appreciate your interaction. We love it when you guys interact. Stay tuned next month. Well, Rob and I will finally see, or we'll see what happened to the March real estate market. Will our predictions come true? Rob was hedging for $1,000 decrease in median price, and I was hedging
Maybe not
for
anymore.
$1,000. And I've been pretty accurate in
she's
my
been killing
predictions
me.
the last few months.
She's been killing me.
So hopefully I'll win again, and he owes me lots of money.
I got
1,000 lunches.
Yeah, it's a bunch of lunches right now, folks.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Rock on.
And do it peacefully.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
No BSing and guessing.
BSing and guessing. You got to coin that frame or phrase. I can't speak today.